It's somehow 10 days into January. I feel a little bit like I am in a straight up art block. So like the last art that I did was a test of the Derwent color pencils, which I didn't really feel that satisfied with. I only made that picture because I needed something to hang in the veterinary office. And since then it was just like either a commission or paintings to do for a themed show. Kind of art that I make that I need to kind of get out, that is for me, that's not meant to be just part of a themed show or a commission. Might have been an entire year ago, so it might be related to that. It could very much be not having had anything to talk about or say for a year. It could also be based on fear. Like I feel comfortable being stagnant and small and unnoticed. Part of it might just be the weather. It's been raining for a month or two, and that's okay. It's a seasonal thing. I'm going to look at a few ways to tackle this. If I feel like I don't have any ideas, my thing is that I'm not getting out enough. I'm just doing a routine every day. So my solution is usually to go for a nature walk. But, like I said, there's nothing going on out there. And January is looking to be very heavily social. So I'm going to be trying that. I tried organizing my space a little bit. In a messy area is a messy mind for me. So it has to be organized to hell, and it's not working. There have also been some excellent prompt lists or challenges for January. One is Burbfest, which is a great hashtag. There's lots of people using it and looking at it. And there is another one by Tara Lever. She's doing like a post-theme social media prompt list, giving you ideas of things to post that's not like finished art, which I appreciate. And I will probably use next month because the Burbfest, it's in my interest, but it's not pleasing me. It's not making me feel like I'm having a good time, and I'm getting kind of tired of it. So I think what I will do today is do some automatic writing in my art journal or something, somewhere that I'll just paint over. So I don't know how well these attempts at breaking my art block are going to work. I've been drawing a lot lately for Patreon. I know I talk about Patreon a lot, mostly just because it takes up time. And usually when I'm doing sketching or commissions, things that are kind of like surface level, I usually have the urge to do art journaling or something that's more fun and creative. And lately I just have not been getting that itch, and I didn't really know how to deal with that because that's completely new to me. Maybe I've just been really down, and I can tell that I've been anxious. And so my head is just so full of irrational, catastrophic thoughts. It almost kind of feels like brain fog, a complete like disconnection with my emotional self. And so doing this automatic writing on these pages is an effective way of just getting all of those thoughts out on a paper until my brain is just empty and I don't feel like I have to hold on to those thoughts anymore. So I'm hoping that by getting out all of these trashy water thoughts, it will eventually run out and let freshwater thoughts come out, if that makes sense. So this is what it looks like. I feel like I can't get connected to my emotions in order to write about them, so I'm not really getting anything. I might not have the right music. The next thing I'm going to try is going to be mindless. There is a stack of papers that I've been saving to do art journaling with, and I think what I will do right now is I am just going to go ahead and paste them into here randomly, just so I can get rid of that stack. Doing something like that might start a chain effect where I move into something more complicated that requires thought or something like that. So I'm going to try that and maybe write something for a video and see if I can actually feel myself in it after trying these little exercises. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I went through and I started just kind of gluing things. I had like random scraps I kind of want to keep for some reason, but don't know what to do with. Finally using up these pieces that I just cut from magazines that I just kind of been keeping, but I was like borderline wanting to throw them out. So I just decided to use them. And in the process, I'm hoping that I was able to brute force my way by doing a brainless physical task, a path into doing something a little bit more mentally challenging. For example, I gotta do a video for Patreon at some point, which means I need to do an actual proper drawing. I do feel a little bit upbeat and warmed up, but I'm kind of hungry, so I might have a little bit of peanut butter or something. You want to help me? What's wrong with your eye? One of the things was to kind of look back on your older stuff, which is why I was looking to see what my last painting that I made that I actually felt like an emotional connection with. I usually do Patreon sketches in here and also planning sketches. Or I might experiment with new media or something like that. I think I was inspired by a video game that Radiohead put out. It has Stanley Donwood's art in it, and so his style is very interesting to me, and so I think I was trying to practice with his kind of like graphite and stuff. Otherwise, I'm just drawing flowers. Like sunflowers. Did you know that sunflowers, each petal is a whole flower? Because this is an entire head of hundreds of sunflower flowers. It just happens to look like one flower. It's weird. And this is what I was using to record my trip. I did remember that I had an idea, a moonfish with a tuna. And it turns out that this fish doesn't hang out with its own species. It likes to hang out with tuna. And I thought that that was kind of cute. I'm letting it simmer. And that's what sketchbooks are good for. I want to see him try to swallow the whole thing. The next day, it's a little bit sunnier today, so I already feel kind of better. I'm going to film a video for Patreon. On my walk, I had taken some pictures of these wood ducks because the angle is kind of weird. Maybe I could paint him overlooking a tiny little cliffside and seeing like the background or whatever. If I'm just doing like a study or something, in order to make it more creative or interesting, I might paint him somewhere else, or I might add details that are not quite realistic. And I know that I can brute force my way into a painting. Can I actually enjoy it? Can I have fun kind of doing it? That's the test for today. So this is the finished thing. I'd say this experiment was pretty good. I feel fine. I did it all in one sitting, which I haven't done for a while. But also I feel like it was beneficial to make something that looks good in the end. Because the thing about sketching is that sometimes I can't make anything look good. So sometimes making half-hearted attempts over and over again that don't really look that interesting, sometimes that can be really demotivating. I'm really feeling good about today, and I think setting yourself up for really quick successes, kind of like making a to-do list where you list a bunch of things you've done already or are very easy to do, just so that you can tick off a few things in order to motivate yourself to do more. did my automatic writing. I did my muscle automatic pasting of things. I cleared my space. I'm ticking off all of these little attempts in order to attack slightly bigger attempts. Had like a whiny emotional breakdown yesterday because I suddenly got an order. Did that, I bought the thing, the label, shipping label, and I couldn't print it because my printer wouldn't work. We eventually found a USB cord and it still didn't work. And then after dinner sometime, it just randomly started working again. But now the microphone only records like my voice, but also a ton of static that I cannot edit out. And so yeah, I'm just... But I think things are getting better. And I don't know if it's any of the things that I'm trying, or if it's just a cyclical, seasonal thing. All of my friends are also really going through a really like difficult time this past month or so as well. So it might be just like a seasonal, like weird thing. I think we all kind of have like an ESP with each other too. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like something's kind of just cosmically going on, but... So here's the dog commission that I probably spent way too much time on. And you know, while I did feel kind of anxious while like doing it, because it's a commission, I always feel kind of stressed out when I'm doing it. That's the challenge. I wasn't feeling like I was suffering through it, you know what I mean? I'm at this kind of like weird thing where I was like, I'm gonna go on this adventure to try all of the art block things to get rid of my art block. And somewhere along the way, I seem to be out of it. And it's kind of hard to tell if it's things that I did or if it's just things that have happened. You know, like I got through a very stressful weekend that I was worrying about. My friends are feeling better. My aunt took me thrift shopping. I got this like, you know, I did the government registration thing that I was terrified of, which is to collect PST at the flea market and stuff, which I was worried about. I'm worried about anything that has to do with the government because I don't like being on their radar because they like to yell at me when I ask basic stupid questions. So if I do something wrong, I'm like, well, is it going to be really bad? But I'm dealing with that. I'm really excited about that. It means that I probably won't be holding myself back as much. Am I disturbing you? Anyway, so now I feel a bit silly because it worked, right? I don't know if it worked. I feel like what was causing the block was just like end of year, beginning of year stress. I'm either like really high and productive, you know, optimism and stuff like that, or I'm really like low and apathetic and not really interested in doing anything. So I could just be riding the roller coaster, but I don't know. I'm sure all of those things that I did helped. I did not get to doing any kind of conceptual challenge. So the next thing that is on my list of things to do, if I can't, is to visit with my friends. The other thing that I would do is go to art galleries or look at art in person in some capacity. Yeah, because the nature walks lately have not been doing it. If nature walks don't work, then it'll have to be social time and art stuff, I guess. Wow,